Okay, so I'm just going to start at the top here, and the first thing I'm going to be showing you is the chords. So the chords, I used the original MIDI from the remix pack that they sent me, and I just used a different patch. And this is what the chords look like. And this is how it sounds. So the original patch is a preset that I found and tweaked, and I think it was originally like more of a sustained sound. I'm not sure if I switch between this and back. Yeah, so you can hear it was really like sustained and ambient sounding. So I just took these envelopes and made them a bit more plucky. And I think I adjusted some of the effects and removed them. And so the tweaked version looks like this one. And yeah, in the effects, I think I just brought down the reverb a bit. And yeah, that's really it. So it's a really simple patch. It's really just sine waves. Okay, and then the processing for this pigments patch. I've got split EQ over here, which is just boosting the transient a bit to make it a bit more plucky, so you can hear without it. The split EQ is like kind of bringing up the transient of these higher frequencies here. And then this delay, that's really just got some automation on it. I think it's just for the outro. Oh yeah, sorry, it's for the extended mix. In the intro I use this delay to get into the drop, but I actually didn't do that in this version, in this radio mix that we're looking at now. Okay, then there's just some really gentle EQ. I think this is automated to kind of reduce low frequencies at some point. So here you can see in the extended mix, I'm reducing the low end using this EQ right before the drop. Okay, then utility is also just being automated in the outro here to just reduce the volume as it goes through. And then we have shimmer, and that is also being automated. Most of these plugins are really just for effect and like transitioning. So yeah, this one is for the extended mix again, where we're just kind of fading out the chords in the outro. And then there's some black hole on here, which is similar to shimmer. And yeah, that one I used on the outro of the radio mix to just fade out those chords. And then we've got another EQ which is being automated, and that's on the outro. And that's just because there was quite a lot of resonance on the reverb tail here. So I just reduced that using that. So without it, kind of like rings out. And okay, yeah, so that's really the chords. Then next up we've got this bass channel, which is just a really plain diva patch. It's just a saw wave with the cutoff filter quite low and being modulated by the envelope, second envelope here. And then we've got this chorus, which is actually pretty high, but it kind of just helps spread it out a bit, and some reverb. So I'm doing a lot of no-nos here. We've got a kind of wide stereo sub bass. It's not that wide, but I think so. If I just solo this down here, yeah, there's quite a lot of movement on the sub, but I think it sounded, I don't think it sounds like it has a problem. It's not phasing or anything, so and it's not moving that much. the processing front here, we've got an auto filter, and that's just to automate some of the sub out, like in the intro here. And then we've got this EQ8, and that's rolling off some of the mid-range, so that's we're really only getting mostly sub bass through. And then these utilities are being automated through the track. Sometimes I want the bass quieter, like the sub bass in the breakdown is a lot quieter than in the drop. I guess that helps kind of just make the track feel more dynamic and the drops feel a bit bigger. Okay, so the chords also have another layer here, and so that's basically just the same patch. And it's, instead of playing this rhythm, it's only just playing one chord for each chord change, one note for each chord change. So it's not being repeated. And I got these to kind of just add a bit of bounce into the chords in the stereo field. So it's got a ping pong delay on it, and that just kind of sticks around there. Yeah, so that's gonna just have a lot of the mid-range, basically a high passed out, because I only wanted the bouncy stuff at the top. And in terms of processing, it's the same processing, because I would have just duplicated the channel. There is crystallizer on here, which gets automated on, let's see, over here. That's a really nice sound. I love this crystallizer. So how I set this up was, it's got pitch to 12 semitones, and then we've got it on reverse here, and the recycle's brought all the way down to here. Usually people will leave it like on the default, which is up higher somewhere here. And it can start getting like really high pitched, and I don't like that. So I just brought the recycle all the way down to here. Yeah, super nice sound. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for all the chords and all their layers. Another thing I used from the original was all of this effect stuff here. So there's some really cool like little effects that they made in the original, and I really like the sound of them, so I dragged them in there. There's also this one which is like, sounds like like some kids like screaming on a playground or something. So yeah, I put that one in. I really like that. And what else is there? There's this one. Oh yes. I think this is actually kind of like quite a defining feature of the song, like something you can recognize because it's so simple and catchy. Okay, so what else is there? There's obviously the main synth, and I can't tell you how they made it because I just used the original stem. It sounds like this. And I did process it a bit. So I added this super VHS tape thingy, and that has like a little bit of drift to just make the pitch go up and down a little bit. I think it sounds quite nice. Without it, it sounds like this. And with. This is just being automated, I guess. Dry, wet. Yeah, that's just for the outro. And then this is being automated. Maybe I'm not even... Yeah, that autofilter is not doing anything. Then we've got some delay here, ping pong delay. Not ping pong, just normal sync delay. And that's for these transitions over here because it felt kind of unnatural to just cut it out like that. So this... gets us into the breakdown quite nicely. And then just some gentle EQ here, just taking out a little bit of mud, and that's hardly doing anything. All right, then there's these flourishes, and I actually just kind of was a bit lazy with this one. I took it from my Wait For You, my track called Wait For You, which is also on Sekora, and it's the exact same sound. I just changed the MIDI notes to fit this track, and I think rhythmically it's different. Like one of the tracks is 8th notes and one is 16ths, I think. I'm not 100% sure which, but yeah, it sounds like this. And the preset is from my, I think that's from my, what's it called? Yeah, just Bounted via Diva preset pack on PML. And it's called PL Simple. And this is how the preset looks if you want to copy it down. Then we're going into Valhalla Shimmer, and we've also got like some panning. And this is from Wait For You. I did all this panning and I just left it on because I liked how it sounded. So it's like moving left to right. And then Shimmer's washing it out a bit. Then I'm EQing it a bit here. And tons of delay to make it all bounce around really nicely. And then kind of just going up and down. Here you can see that was automated because it got kind of a bit too resonant over here. And yeah, so what else is there? There's these breakdown pads. That's just an Omnisphere preset. It's called Distant Memories. And we've also got this pad, which is like the intro pad. That's called Sacred Shrine. And there's not really much else that's super interesting, like musically. I also made these like noise effects. I always like to make these in operator because you can kind of make them fit your track perfectly instead of flicking through like generic white noise sweeps and stuff from sample packs. So this one, I think I actually made this originally in my Rufus to Soul tutorial for that tutorial, and then I just dragged it into this project and it sounded cool. So it's playing like 16th notes and then panning it around left to right. And this one's just plain white noise with the bandpass filter being automated. And there's another one up in the intro, which is this, which is again just white noise with some EQ and shimmer on it. And then that phasing is from this Phase Mistress. And I guess I just use this preset. Oh yes, and then there's also these drum fills, which I really like. I think it like makes the whole drop work so much nicer. Which is 2 layers, so this is how it sounds in the mix. And it's this bongo loop that I found. With the convolution preset on it called Snare Plate A. Just puts it into a nice space. And I think this is from Encyclopedia 1 pack. And then I used Addictive Drums and layered that with the snare. So it's following the same rhythm, but I'm just layering it here. And I think it's a triplet rhythm. So I love Addictive Drums and the snare sounds so good. No. It's this solid ply cherry snare. And then I got some CQ, which is brightening it. It really brings out the high end nicely. EQ8 also bringing out a bit more on the high end. bit more of that snap. And then we have that clap. Yeah, there's also a second fill here that I just drew in. Okay, and then the drums. Drums sound like this. So I think the thing that makes these drums cool in this track is really this loop. Like, it's so prominent in the track, and like you can hear it quite clearly. It's like almost a very memorable percussion loop. And this is from PML D Premium Volume 6. And then I'm layering it with this clap loop, which actually creates a really cool groove, just these two together. Okay, and then at the top we got this kick, which is this one from Artist Kicks Volume 1, Angel. And that is being layered with this one, which is from Cyclopedia 1, and I just wanted to get like a nice texture on the kick. And this one had a nice like high end, so I just filtered out everything from the mid-range and lows, and I'm just using it for this high end. And then the clap is made up of 3 layers, and they're all like 909s, and I think an 808. Yeah, so 808, 909, 909. And what I did here is just shorten them to get rid of the reverb tails that were built into them. And then I've got my own reverb on there. This one from Eventide, the Stereo Room. Which just sits it nicely into a room. And what I did with these was, other than shortening them, I took out all those initial hits. So it's just a short snap. And yeah, just that's pretty much all I did. No other processing other than the reverb and a little bit of EQ. But just in the mix it sounds so nice, the clap. And then I've got this hat loop from Mark Knight's Toolroom pack. That's got some split EQ on it. Just taking out that like low end, and then also removing a bit of the transient portion from the high end. And I'm also reducing the tonal a little bit, but not as much as the transient. And then Pro Q3, oh, I guess there was probably some ringing or something in there. Yeah. Okay, then what else is there here? Okay, some more hat loops. This one's from my Gentle Hats pack. And I just EQ'd it a bit. And then layered it with this one. That's from Cyclopedia 1 again. And I did quite a lot of split EQ on that. That really tightens it up and like brightens it a bit. And then I got this djembe loop from the D Premium pack, but I shifted it around. You can see here the start point is actually there, so this is how it would have originally been played. But I've shifted it to this position because I just thought it grooved nicer over there. And what else have we got here? There's really just this like, oh, that's not even a drum, that's this breathy sample. And we've also got a bongo here. Valhalla room on it. That's just doing a little fill. Oh, that's... Is that only in this? No, it's also in the radio mix. Okay, so I think I've covered everything here. Oh, there's also a ride, which is from my Gentle Hats pack again. This ride loop. And yeah, we just got a crash. Cashmere crash. Nothing interesting over there. Yeah, and then the mastering wise, I've got Pro Q taking out just the rumble below 30 Hertz. And then we've got Soothe, which is cleaning up a little bit of mud, or in some areas. I think it's only very gentle though. Yeah, it's hardly doing anything, but I think there was an area somewhere where there was like a build up in that range, and I just wanted Soothe to handle that because I'm lazy. And then on the high end, we're cleaning up a little bit of resonance, some high end stuff. Before we actually go into the full master, I do have a pre-master over here, and that's got Relife on it, which has got this shape dial, which basically just dynamically reduces mid-range and boosts sub and high end, so it makes it like that more smile kind of shape. But I think it helps quite a lot if you play it with and without. If I just solo this, oh no, I'm not going to solo it. I'll play the whole thing because it's on the whole thing. So you'll hear the mid-range gets a little cleaner, and the high end you can hear that lift, and the low end also lifts a little bit. Yeah, so after the soothes, this utility is just automating gain through the track. I think, yeah, that's just for the outro to cut the volume out. Then I've got an Oxford inflator, and I'm pushing that not too hard because it can sound quite distorted. And then afterwards we're going into my limiter. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Span is just visualizing everything. You can see here we're hitting about minus 7.7 LUFS, so it's definitely loud enough. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this breakdown. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a thing or two. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.